Does anyone else feel like 2020 was the last normal year on Earth and everything changed, and then we entered another timeline that may or may not have been caused by CERN opening up a portal, and that we're living on this new timeline and we keep trying to go back to the old one, but it's totally inaccessible to us?
Y'all, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. But I don't care what you say. People are different since that respiratory virus back in 2020. They're different. People are not the same. You can argue with me all day long if you want to. I don't care. I'm a nurse. I live through it. I work through it. People are not the same.
2020 was the year that everything changed. I can remember before 2020, life just felt normal. And then during the quote unquote pandemic, they kept calling life the new norm. This is the new norm. When a lot of us, we knew that everything that was happening, everything that we felt, our surroundings, the people around us, everything that they were saying to us, that it wasn't normal at all. But we just had to cope with it. And it just seems like life has just been this never ending roller coaster every six. And now here we are in 2026, and people are still feeling the effects of it. Life hasn't been the same since pre 2020. Everything just feels like an illusion. Time seems to be going faster some days, and sometimes it feels like it's going slower. It seems like we're awake some days when we're really dreaming, and vice versa. I heard someone say it feels like we're actually living in the Matrix now. And I know that was a movie, but it really does, because sometimes the stuff that's going on, you don't know if we're dreaming or we're awake. And I'm saying that metaphorically speaking, because a lot of things that's happening right now, it just seems like it's a dream. Like everything that we're witnessing in the world today, it just seems like none of that stuff wouldn't have been before 2020. Everyone is distant. I'm even distant myself. I've always been an introvert, but a lot of times these days, if I'm not working, I'm in the house. And I used to be a party guy. I was just telling my daughters the other day, I'm like, your dad used to go out and party every single night of the week, me and my friends. If there was not a night that went by that there wasn't a spot that we can go to from Sunday to Sunday, every single night of the week. It was somewhere or two we can go that night. And nowadays, I have no interest in doing any of that. Everyone just feels evil. People just seem so mean nowadays. Now, I'm not talking like everything was peaches and cream before the pandemic, but it just seems like everything just amplified ever since 2020. People are so triggered. The road rage is at an all-time high. I'm seeing more and more people get unalived on the road because people was just having a bad day. And more people are starting to isolate themselves. Now, I remember people calling 2020 the Great Awakening. People were starting to, wake up and see what's really going on in the world, which I do agree with. But it just seems like it just turned to something else, because everyone, they just don't seem real. Everyone is fake. You got so many people on social media nowadays just for clout. And speaking of social media, we're just being spoon fed just all these narratives. Everyone attention span is so short. I can remember always watching long form videos. Everyone was watching long form videos. And now reels and shorts is becoming a popular thing, that people attention spans is no greater than maybe 2 to 3 minutes max. And then they want to watch something else. They want to do something else because they're bored now. It's just not getting them. And I just think that it's a detriment to us, especially the younger generation. because the younger generation, I think they got affected the most because a lot of the kids that we see today, these Gen Alpha kids, they were extremely young. Two of my youngest daughters, they were extremely young during the pandemic. And here we are 6 years later. One just turned 14, another one is 11, going on 12 this summer. And it just seems like all they know is social media. Everything is 6'7", everything is skibbity toilet. And I just have no idea what the heck is going on in the world today. And I'm not the only one. A lot of other people feel the exact same way, that 2020, that was the year that changed everything.
Yo, so Loki, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Ever since 2020 up until now, this has really been the loneliest time I've ever felt. It's like everybody's around, but nobody's really together. You know what I mean? Like people are healing alone, struggling alone, hustling alone. Family dynamics are changing, relationships are changing, friendships are changing, everything's changing. Even social media made us more visible, but somehow made it more disconnected. I just think a lot of us just learned how to be strong on our own, but then we also forgot how to be held, how to trust, and how to let people show up for us again. And yeah, I just wanted to just say that out loud because I've really just been sitting here like, damn, ever since COVID until now, we really are just disconnected from people or just each other.
I'm not trying to be mean, but something is different since that pandemic in 2020. I just came across this lady's video. She was like, something's wrong. Something's not right. And she said that she was a nurse. I'm a nurse too. I get it. Let me just tell you something. Something is not right. And like this nurse was saying, she said maybe people got sick and didn't have enough oxygen to their brain. People don't speak. They're not friendly. They're rude, in fact. I don't know. It's concerning. I don't even want to leave the house. I don't want to go out in the public and have to interact with people. It's so bad. Maybe people have PTSD from being in isolation for so long, scared to death. And honestly, to me, these people look like damn zombies or robots or something. I don't know. But what the hell?
Life has not felt real since 2020. Ever since 2020, it feels like everything has just gone by 10 times faster than it did prior. And there's a very good reason for this, bro. Ever since 2020, our realities have been smashed into our phones. And I saw this one guy make a video on this. His is probably much better than mine, but I'm going to try to summarize his video. Think about how much news, information, content that you consume on a day-to-day basis. Go to your settings on your phone and look up how many times a day do you pick up your phone. You are not living in reality anymore. You're living in like 65 different realities on a day-to-day basis because you're looking at the political state of fucking countries that you have no affiliation with, states that you have no affiliation with. And if you don't become mindful of all of the shit that you're consuming, you will not be living in your reality anymore. You may think it's your reality. The news wants to scare you and put you into a state of fear so that it gets more views, it gets more rates and hits, whatever the fuck.
What has happened to the world, man? I feel like everywhere I go, when I go to a cafe, when I go to a restaurant, when I go to a shop, I feel like everyone that is working there is always so depressed and like almost about to kill themselves. And yeah, I feel like obviously after COVID, I feel like the world's just gone to shit. Like a lot of people have just been, they've lost loved ones. Some of them have had to face inflation, lose money, lose jobs, and that's ruined them. But the world has just not been the same after 2020. After COVID, I feel like the world's just been complete shit. Everywhere you go to, people just seem depressed. No one laughs anymore. No one smiles as much as they used to be. It's crazy, man. We live in a very depressive society where it's just, everything is just so low vibrational. No one's actually as charismatic and smiley and actually happy. Like, you don't actually sense true happiness from anyone anymore. Everyone's just in a negative state of mind.
There was an enormous shift in consciousness back in 2020, and it changed everything. The awakening globally is speeding up. Here are some things that you might be experiencing and why. Number one, time feels distorted. Speeding up, slowing down, days disappear, weeks vanish at a time. You are no longer locked in linear time. Welcome to quantum flow. Number two, The past feels like a dream. You cannot fully connect to who you were pre-2020 because that version of you no longer exists. Number 3, people you once cared for now feel like strangers. It's not personal. They're staying in the old energy and you're moving into the new. Number 4, you crave simplicity and nature more than ever. This is your nervous system detoxing from a hyper-stimulated world that no longer matches your frequency. And number 5, you are questioning everything. Systems, structures, authority, reality, truth. This is your soul waking up and not you losing control.
I think he was spot on with that because a lot of us now, we do crave simplicity. We do crave nature a lot. 2019, 2020, I was getting into, survival prepping, like even like 2018-ish, but it wasn't until 2020 where I really got into wanting to learn how to be self-sufficient. I really wanted to learn how to dwell in nature. Now, luckily, right before the pandemics really popped off in 2020 in March, I had just graduated construction school where I got my OSHAs. So I am good in doing a little building, but ever since then, I just been, kind of teaching myself, watching self-help videos, YouTube videos on what to do in certain situations, what to do if civil unrest occur, how to survive, where to go, how to clean water, like how to bandage up wounds, just everything that you need to learn to be self-sufficient. Now, I haven't learned every single thing, but every single day, I'm always looking at stuff just to better myself because I feel like this world has changed and it's only getting worse. We see what's going on in the world now with the wars and the talks about world war, and there are so many people who are still asleep to everything that's going on. I think some of us who actually woken up during that time, like we see things that the average person don't see, and it boggles my mind personally that how I can see certain things, how I can understand certain things that's happening right now in the world, and my peers are just oblivious to it. They still living before 2020, which could be a good thing, but in hindsight, it's negative, it's bad because there's so much evil, so much wicked going on, and it's actually out in the open. Like a lot of times, this stuff is happening. It's not even being hidden anymore. I think we need to be aware of this stuff. We need to be aware of our surroundings. We need to be aware of what's happening in politics and government because people don't like to be in politics. People don't like to talk about what's going on around the world, but inevitably it does affect us, how we live our day-to-day lives. So we do need to be aware of it. We need to brace ourselves and get into it more just so we can be a step ahead of everyone else. But isolation is becoming a big thing. A lot of people just like to be isolated. People don't like to hang out with each other no more. If you notice, I don't know where y'all from, but I'm from Philadelphia. A lot of the clubs, a lot of the party scene is gone now. No one is going to clubs or bars or anything like that anymore. It's just like everyone just for themselves. Everyone just staying home. If people do something, they'll do a gathering. And socially speaking, if there is some type of social gathering out in public, then there's always some type of chaos. You can't go nowhere anymore without hearing about a shooting or something happening. The youth is just running amok. There's certain stores closing. If you notice, a bunch of department stores, places that have been open for decades are now closing. A lot of businesses are going bankrupt. they filing for Chapter 11. The whole world is just changing. The system is just being obliterated. And the ones who's on top, the ones who's governing our lives, they're the one who benefiting from it, while the rest of us, we're down here struggling. We're down here starving. So it's like I said, I think that we all need to be aware of all this stuff because it's only getting worse.
It feels like COVID just reset everything, and they reset it with higher prices. You know, everything was cheaper, better, the food was better. COVID did something to the economy, the prices, the food. Like, food was good, and then as soon as COVID happened, they just stopped caring in the restaurants. They were short-staffed. They started using frozen ingredients and skimping out on the salt and the flavor and all types of things. And my apartment was $8, not $8. That would be nice. That's my grandma's price. My apartment was $850 a month. You know, my car payment was like $300. Everything was good. After 2020 hit, it's like, what is this? Like, what even is this now?
Something changed all of us in 2020. And yeah, I am talking about the pandemic, but not the virus part. I'm talking about what came with it. The fear, the lies, the constant chaos pumped through every screen like it was oxygen. That was the year that people stopped trusting, stopped believing, stopped feeling safe, even in their own heads. And it's wild because almost 6 years later, you can still feel that shift hanging in the air. Like something snapped in 2020 and never really healed. Time doesn't even move the same anymore. It's like the world hit pause, but somehow everything got worse in slow motion. Before all that, we actually thought we had control. We thought science had the answers. We thought the media had the facts and leadership had some kind of plan. But then we watched them all contradict themselves over and over while telling us that we're the crazy ones. And now we're living in the aftermath of that gaslight. Everyone's divided. Everyone's drained. Nobody believes anything anymore. So yeah, something did change in 2020, and it wasn't just the world, it was us.
2020 was the last year of just the world, like, just being refreshed. I'm gonna be honest, 2020, like, after 2020, life wasn't the same after a while. Like, it was this new modern world. 2020 and before was like real, like, everything was just calm and just regular. You know, after 2020, it was a scheduled program. It seemed like it was more so like more controlled in a way. Like, life was more controlled. Before then, it was a lot of loopholes, I would say. And just, even the air is different. The air is not the same after 2020.
Is it just me, or does it seem like the world is different since 2020? People act different, movies are different, work is different, everything's just different. Is it just me?
I really feel we need to acknowledge things have not been the same since COVID. Like, when COVID hit, it's almost like the Avengers movie when Thanos snapped his finger and like 5 years went by. And I feel like it's the same. Millions of people passed away. The job market definitely hasn't been the same. The prices are the prices. It is what it is, unfortunately. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we pretend like it didn't happen. And we know it happened. But it's like, no, it's almost like everybody experienced the same thing. But it's like this drama, or this very, not drama, but more of this thing that happened to everybody. And it was so dramatic where nobody really wants to talk about it. But like, we need to talk about it, man. Things have not been the same since COVID. Whether people want to say they are, like, to me, before COVID, things were great. I'm just going to be honest with you. Things were great. Life was great. People were great. After COVID, it feels like we came out of a twilight zone. Things are the same, man.
I don't know. The way the world's going, I just want to be left alone. I don't want to do anything anymore. Can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. This is why we can't have nice things. People are never happy. You try your hardest. Yeah. I wouldn't call it street life now, though. I call it home life. I just want to be, I want to stay here. It's bad now. Doesn't matter what it is. I just turn down going to everything now. Even like nice things, like, you know, like a party, award show, and I just go, oh, I can't. I'm giving the orphanage. COVID, I've got COVID.
Yo, after 2020, life has not felt real at all. Like, I just been sitting down and comparing how life was before and how it is now. Like, people don't even talk to each other the same. People don't hang out anymore. Everyone's always busy. Everyone's working. I feel like life just hit everyone all at the same time because everyone always has something going on nowadays. And I feel like the biggest cause of this is like social media and the way technology is now. Now people don't even live the real reality. Like, they don't even go outside anymore. They're infatuated so much on their phone. Like, now when you use your phone, you're in so many different realities. You're calling like 40, 50 a day. Because think of it, you're getting hit with news over here, over there, about someone else's life, about another country. It's so easy to get lost in the sauce and not even know which reality is real.
Y'all, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. But I don't care what you say. People are different since that respiratory virus back in 2020. They're different. People are not the same. You can argue with me all day long if you want to. I don't care. I'm a nurse. I live through it. I work through it. People are not the same. I'm not exactly sure what happened, if it's PTSD, if they didn't get enough oxygen to their brain, but people are just not the same as they were back before that it came. I don't know. I don't know if it's because they were in their house for so long, they just got so used to not dealing with the public. Like I said, if it's because they didn't get enough oxygen to their brain and now they just have problems like communicating, but people are rude. They just don't know how to act no more. Have you noticed it, or is it just me? Is it just like healthcare people that we notice it more and more? But it ain't just at work that I notice this, y'all. It's just people in general, like in public. And you can tell. You can tell the ones that have been affected. I don't know. And maybe that's not it, but there's something. Something is not the same.
I think when it all comes down to it, everything is not the same. And it's not just healthcare workers who notice these issues. A lot of us are starting to notice it too. And she might be right, because a lot of us were trapped in the house for a year and a half, going on 2 years. And if you wasn't a quote unquote essential worker, you wasn't allowed to be outside. And I think that because of that, so many people got used to just being on their own, just being isolated, that social awkwardness is just running rampant. Now that everyone is out in the public again, it's like people just don't care anymore. It's awkward. People don't know how to have civil discussions. People don't know how to have conversations anymore. You can be talking about a subject, and then if it goes into like religion or politics, it's just like a hellstorm. Now, it's been like that because religion and politics has been a big issue for years in discussions. But it just seems like ever since then, now, all that stuff just got amplified for the worse, not for the better. And you're either on this side or you're on that side. No one agrees to disagree anymore. If you have family or friends that y'all was real close, it seems like now, and if y'all believe in two different ideologies, that y'all become enemies now. And I get that a lot throughout my social media. On my Facebook page, I got over 163,000 followers. And, you know, I talk about social issues, religion, politics. And because I disagree with a lot of people on certain issues, I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of slander in my comment sections. It's to the point where people even private message me to curse me out for something that I believe in, something that I think about, because it's different from theirs. And I don't get that, just the other day, I had to actually delete one of my friends that I known since before the pandemic, but she didn't like what I had put online, so she just got on my post and just start like slandering me. And then the people who was talking against me too, she going on their comment and agreeing with them and talking about me when they're total strangers. They're just followers when we're actually friends. We were friends, but I had to delete her and I blocked her because it's just like I don't need any of that stuff in my life because that stuff can turn ugly real bad, especially nowadays. And it's like people just don't really care. Y'all could have been friends for years. Y'all can even be family members. Like I said, if y'all disagree with a lot of stuff, then people just gonna hate you for it. And it's like beating a dead horse because I said it before, I say it again. A lot of us need to start preparing for the worst. We hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst because I think it's just going to get even just more wicked. And the simple fact that I watch certain news channels, certain outlets, and they talking about potential other viruses that's going to take place that's worse than COVID-19. They're going to have us locked down even more, and I think it's just going to mess us up even more, even worse. So I think we just all need to just pray and prepare because the way this world is going, I see it getting a whole lot darker and grittier before it gets better. Like we might actually be having to prepare for like some real life purge type stuff or civil unrest. And before the pandemic, that stuff could have just seemed like an exaggeration, just a conspiracy theory. But nowadays, we see how everything been going on. We see how these quote unquote protests turn into riots, and they storm capitals, they storm certain buildings. They in Minnesota storming churches, and LA, the bunch of riots and fires. Like people just got used to just doing that stuff that they don't want to stop, and they getting funding from somebody from somewhere because it just seems like more and more people out here just doing that. So like I said, us sane people, us who has the great awakening within us, that we just need to stay aware and prepare because it's going to get dark out there. But it is what it is. That's all I got for now, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Drop your comments down below. Make sure I hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.